Good morning. Hello, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for so many reasons. First off, you're here. Second off, I feel really weird and I have my nails done, so I might, use my hands more. And then Derek and I are celebrating our wedding today. So, very very, very excited. But so far, how does it feel having a little bit of clarity around what do I eat? Has it been empowering or kind of like, oh shoot, now rubber's meeting the road. I need to do the thing now.
I love it. I love having idea of how many portions I need in the day. It's been helpful and it has made a great difference to me. So I
Aw-
really love it.
Awesome. So something that I feel bad for other people whenever I'm having a conversation about nutrition and they ask, what should I eat? That's a really common question. It's like, well, it depends. And like, that's always the answer. It depends. Or like a really common question is, what should I eat pre and post workout? It's like, well, it depends. Like, um, they ask, what should I eat pre and post workout given that I want to lose weight? It's like, well, typically it's not about the hour before or hour after. It's, the other 23 hours of the day that you're eating and really depends. So now that you have your portions, now we can kind of dial in to answer these things for you. Now that you have your portions, you know what you're trying to hit each day. And now how we allocate that or the timing of that, we can play with. So depending on your workout, I would recommend maybe if you're feeling low energy during your workout, trying half of a carb portion before your workout can really help. So now that you have your portions, you can kind of push things around based on your goals and kind of what you're trying to do. So I love the clarity that comes with it. But today we're going to talk a little bit about how the clarity can be empowering and can help steer you or guide you. But clarity can also give give you fuel for beating yourself up. And so what you do with that clarity is really, really important. So we will dive in and talk a little bit about that, but then dive into practical things. So we're going to hit on a little bit of my mindset because that will really determine your success and longevity in even caring about nutrition and caring about your goals at all. So that's really important. So to get to this point, right, to have your food flip plan, you had to have a goal or care about your health in some capacity. And I love that about us is that we envision more for ourselves. Um, and not everybody has the courage to do that because it can be hard to want more for yourself. To say that out loud, to first admit it to yourself, to say that out loud to someone else like me, what you had to do to be here, because then things get really real and thoughts might come up of like, oh, well, what if I don't do it? I just like voiced it out there. So now it'd be really awkward if I didn't follow through or if I didn't move forward. Um, so you took that step to vocalize things. Um, and that's a really big step. So I'm really proud of you for doing that and putting yourself out there. And I would love for us to honor that by just showing up for yourself. And we're going to talk about exactly how to do that. Um, but ultimately, you have a goal. Let's say the easy one that I kind of pull is weight loss, so losing 10 pounds. So sometimes we think, okay, like I'm fixated on this number. I need to lose X amount. And I'm not feeling great until that happens. But really look beyond your goal and think if I'm the same person when I lose the 10 pounds, if I am this same amount of confidence, if I have the same amount of energy, then what good was it? What impact did it actually have? So typically behind our goal, we have a deeper reason why we want to achieve it. So how do you want to show up differently is my question to you. Because if you're able to identify this answer, this will give you the motivation to stick with something because it'll be powerful enough. We're looking at a scale of one to 10. We're looking at an importance of a 7 or greater. If you have an importance of a 7 or greater, that'll give you the motivation to keep showing up for yourself. So for me, losing 2 pounds, I really don't care about the number on this scale, because I know that if I drink a lot of water and use the restroom, like I can lose 2 pounds. So it's probably not the number that really makes a difference, but I think in my mind's eye that when I feel good in a bikini, then like I'll have the confidence to actually show up in my life the way I want. So it's actually the confidence that I want. It's not necessarily the weight loss that I want. So most people don't take the time to just step back and think, how do I want to show up differently? Um, and I would encourage you to do that instead of chasing a number or chasing something else, because once you reach your goal, which you will, um, then you'll be chasing the next thing. And I want you to just take the time to figure out what's important that'll help you stick with it. And you get to relish whenever you reach that goal of that confidence. And I would encourage you to kind of try it out. You can express confidence now, kind of fake it till you make it along the way, which is really fun. Um, so I encourage you to think about how do you wish you would show up. And we have a spoiler alert. So the magic doesn't happen when you achieve your goal. So if it's the weight loss of 10 pounds, let's say you're down your 1 pound, you're not really feeling much different. Energy is the same, your joints feel the same, pain or whatever. So nothing really changes after 1 pound. And just so you know, though, once you're at 9 pounds, it's not like nothing changed, you feel the same. And then 10, miraculously, everything changes. But your accomplishment of your goal does not change your life. The process does. So it's the showing up for yourself, the keeping the promises to yourself along the way that can absolutely change your life and change your confidence. Um, so keeping promises that you make to yourself is what changes everything. That has been my experience of, yeah, crummy relationship, low self-confidence, not eating right, hard to get out of bed, to, okay, I'm going to make these promises to myself. I'm going to work out X number of days. I'm going to nourish myself. I'm going to take care of myself. And just doing that consistently has given me the confidence that if no one else in the room has my back, I know I have my own. It's changed the way I walk into a room. If everyone else thinks a certain way of me, I know that I think well enough of myself to prioritize myself. That has been such a game changer, and I want that for you guys. So the process is really important. So today we're going to be talking about the process. Um, okay, so let's put that aside for right now. So you're someone with a goal. Now you have a plan. What you do with that plan will also determine your success. So what you do with your plan physically, so print out the plan. Um, if you haven't print it out today, because days can go by and you don't print it out. So print it out and then post it somewhere where you see it often. So like the refrigerator. And then what you do with the plan mentally. So this is kind of what we were talking about earlier about having clear expectations can be a double-edged sword. So it can make the action required. So what is required of you to take the first step toward your goal can make it clear. So I love clarity. I know what I need to do, so I'm going to do it. But you also know when you don't meet the mark and you feel like a failure. Um, so double-edged sword, what you do with the clarity is really important. But just so you know, it takes energy to look at your portions and to be proactive and think, what am I going to eat? It also takes energy to beat yourself up. So it's energy is going to be spent. Um, I would highly I would love it if that energy was spent toward being a little bit proactive, thinking about nutrition and in a positive direction, than beating yourself up and in a negative direction. So we need to be realistic on what do you commit to. So being even more clear about your commitment. So you have your plan, you can use it 7 days out of the week. I would rather you know yourself, create that intimacy with yourself, that relationship with yourself. Be like, I know you, and I know one day a week you're going to need a mental break because the load is insane. It's a big learning curve. So even if you need to take 2 days off, 3 days off, whatever it is, define it now. So whenever you do take that time off, you're like, ha, I knew it. I knew I needed this mental break, and here I am taking it. Go me. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, I didn't stick to my portions today. And then that can kind of cause a spiral of, well, I don't even want to look at my plan because I'm so far gone that I feel this insane amount of guilt. That I'm just going to pretend like I never had the goal to begin with. I'm going to pretend like none of this happened, but too late. It already happened. You're already here. So just be intentional about the time off that you need. So how many days a week are you going to stick to your plan? What will your off days look like, and what will your on days look like? So your capacity to stick to your plan will increase with time. You might notice that it takes a lot of thought right now, but it will become second nature later. So for now, does on days look like, for example, I can't even think about all my portions. I can't think about protein. I can't think about carbs. I can't think about veggies, and I can't think about fats all in one day. That's a little too much. That is totally okay. So what does your on day look like? What is the um, ideal situation for you realistically? What does that look like? And that'll be your on day. And then think about you're tired. It's been a long day at work or at school, and you just want to have ice cream when you get home. Like, what does that day look like too? And that we can define that as your off day. So does that day look like I'm not going to think about all four portions. I'm just going to prioritize veggies, for example. And when I'm craving ice cream, I know that I can satisfy it with the FoodFlip chocolate mousse recipe, for example. For me, it's super satisfying, but if it's not satisfying for you, then find a small ice cream sandwich that is satisfying, that's already prepackaged, so you're not tempted to eat half of a gallon thing of half gallon of ice cream, but it's already prepackaged, ready to go, so you know, okay, I'm driving home from work, I'm craving that ice cream. I know I'm gonna make that chocolate mousse, or I know I have an ice cream sandwich waiting for me in the fridge. And I'm going to enjoy the heck out of it. So maybe that's what an off day looks like. But take some time this week to define how many days a week am I going to be on, and on your off days, um, define what days those are, what one thing you're going to do to help give you some guardrails on your eating habits. So one thing I want to encourage you is to let go of extremes. So on your on day, we're not taking the food scale out. I personally like to take my food scale out, especially for smoothies, because I don't want to dirty a measuring cup. So nothing wrong with food scales, but just to paint a picture of extremes, I'm not going to eat anything but chicken breast because I know that that's the leanest protein. I'm not going to have chicken thighs, and I'm going to have, all these different vegetables. That's going to be my on day. And then my off day, I'm just going to go ham. I'm going to go hard, and I'm going to eat all the things, drink all the things. So I would encourage you to find the middle ground on your on day and your off day. So on your on day, enjoy some chicken thighs, enjoy some beef, enjoy those things that you love. And then on your off day, let's not eat like an a-hole, and let's really tune into your body cues of hunger and fullness. That can really go a long way of taking a pause, noticing, hey, I feel satisfied. Right now, I'm just eating to prolong the flavor in my mouth. Why don't I do that by eating slower, eating more intentionally, taking breaks? So I would encourage you to have your off day um, be keep your composure, basically. Um, so letting go of extremes will go a long way. Um, okay. So why are we being realistic and defining what days we're on and what days we're off? And I would encourage you for those days to look very similar, and to not be extreme. But why are we being realistic? Because failure can lead to one of three things. It can lead to beating ourselves up, which we talked about takes energy, or making excuses, so justifying. And this also takes energy, or learning and growth, which takes energy, but is the only positive result. So all of these take energy. Beating ourselves up just might be more habit based. And so that might take a little less thought of like, okay, I'm going to start beating myself up now. And then you start, it might be habit, so it's easy, but hopefully, um, at the end of our intensive, the 90 days, hopefully your plan is more habit. So you can focus on that, focus on growth and learning and rewire your brain from the beating up thing. But making excuses, as long as you have excuses, progress will not be made. So just like me in the backyard. So our backyard used to be a disaster. And I would always have things like, well, I have things to work on. So the backyard wasn't getting done. And whenever it's in the evening time, it's like, well, the mosquitoes are really bad, so I don't want to go out there. So there's always going to be a reason to not do the thing that you say you want to do. There will always be a reason. There will always be something else to do. There will always be a reason not to. It's too hot, mosquitoes, or it's too cold when it's winter, or it's nighttime and dark. There will always be a reason. Same thing with your plan. There will always be a reason that you will feel justified for gorging yourself, for, eating far too much more than your intuition knows. Your intuition might tell you, hey, maybe we should stop. And then you override that because it's like, no, I'm having a good time. Or like we're out with friends. I would be the weird one if I didn't eat as much as everyone. Well, guess what? Not everyone really cares about what you eat. It's actually such a little thing. I was at a social thing during my prep, which I would not encourage for like holistic health. But during prep, everything is really dialed in to get down to the body percent that I would not recommend for health. And it takes different tools to get there than what we're talking about for getting leaner, getting toned, things like that. But anyway, I was on prep and I decided when I'm going out, since I can't really have control of what those foods are, I'm just not going to eat. Well, nobody noticed. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Michelle, didn't you love that chicken?" And I was like, "Yeah, it looked really good." And it was not a thing. So, I'm not saying not to enjoy social time now at the with my health goals, and I can get down to 12% body fat and eat out. So I'm not saying not do that, but just know that not everybody cares about what you're eating, and you're not going to be the weird one out if you eat something different. So if you go to a buffet and you just choose the grilled chicken and the veggies, no one's going to care. And you might actually inspire someone. If someone notices, I've noticed only positive things. So just know that you won't be the weird one out, prioritizing your health. So, moral of the story here, we're being realistic so that we guarantee our success and we encourage growth and learning, whatever happens. If you eat too much, be like, hey, I know that when I start eating cookies, I don't stop at one, I have five. That's good to know about myself so that maybe I could try putting one or two cookies in a Ziploc bag instead of planning for one cookie, I'm gonna plan for two. I'm gonna make room for two, and I'm gonna put it pre-portion in a Ziploc bag. All the other ones will be at the top of the pantry, and we're gonna see how that goes. So you can test things out. So you're learning about yourself, learning your little tricks and things, and then thinking it one step ahead, and really planning around what you learn about yourself. Um, and then for the excuses, the proactive planning would really help. So think what could possibly go wrong? What kind of fun little what am I gonna be telling myself? I'm like, oh no, no, it's okay because blank. What am I going to tell myself and how can I plan around it? So like the whole let's see. So knowing yourself about the cookies and like, oh, well, one wasn't satisfying, so I'm gonna have five. Knowing yourself and pre-packaging it, for example, or knowing whenever you go out, that's when you turn your brain off and you go hard. Um, and you tell yourself, oh, okay, well, I'm having a good time, so like let's just throw away the portions and think about it tomorrow. Just know the things that you tell yourself, um, so that you can plan around it, going into those situations. So, um, have a proactive excuse blocker. Take ownership of your life and what you want, and really try to plan around it. And you can have your cake and eat it too. You can socialize and stick to your portions. And hopefully you've kind of shown yourself that, if you haven't yet, then that is one of your action steps to take this week, which we'll talk about. So today we're really emphasizing fitting in your party foods. So whether it's an on day or an off day, we want to eat foods that are enjoyable. And on one of your on days, you can absolutely have pizza. You don't have to wait until it's an off day. So I would encourage you on one of the days that you are sticking to your portions, eat a party food, whether it's pizza, that's kind of a popular one. But whatever it is for you, fit in a party food. So you know your portions and you have your plan, but a potential problem you might have seen is that some foods don't quite fit in the protein, veggie, carb, and fat categories. So that's where we don't have a pizza category, unfortunately. So the solution is your portion cheat sheets. So the portion cheat sheet for pizza looks like this, where it's a regular crust pizza. One slice would be one portion of carbohydrates, one portion of fats, two slices. The protein accumulates, so we'll go ahead and call that half of a protein portion, but then we have two portions carbs, two portions fats. You get the idea. So you can decide how many pieces of pizza can you fit into your plan. So if one isn't satisfying, if you know you're going to have two, then try to push your portions around to fit two in whenever you want your pizza. We've got portion cheat sheets for a lot of things. If there is one that you don't have that you want, then ask me under the Ask Michelle channel and I'll get that out. But we have cheat sheets for pizza, enchiladas, mac and cheese, pies, those Dairy Queen blizzards, ice cream, you name it. We have a lot of them. Not all of them, but if you want one, then request it. There was one request about like sandwiches, and so it really depends on what kind of sandwich it is. So for bread, that one big piece of sourdough bread is one carb portion. One of the smaller pieces of bread is half. So and then what's in the sandwich matters. So if it's turkey versus salami, that depends too. Salami we consider as a fat, like sausage, but turkey is lean, so we consider that a protein. So you might need to piece things together. And if you need help, take a picture of your sandwich and send it to me or to the food thing, and then ask what the portions are. And I would love to help you there. So sandwiches won't have portion cheat sheets because it really depends, but a lot of these other things will. So we talked about a lot, mindset, things to do. So let's go over what are we taking from today? What's the action that we're going to do this week? So define the number of days per week that you're going to be um, trying to hit all of your portions or whatever you decide. So if there's just one portion that you're trying to hit on your on day because four is too much right now, then define what days those are. So define your on days and define what that looks like. And we can talk about it. Message me if you need help finding out what that is. But I gave you a couple ideas and you've been working with your plan and you probably know what an on day looks like. And then also figure out what an off day looks like. So define your days, and then use a portion cheat sheet on an on day. So don't wait until an off day to enjoy your favorite foods. Have them on your on day and go eat out mindfully. So whether it's an on or off day, things you can do beforehand are just, okay, I'm going to today's my off day. I'm not gonna dial in on the fats and carb portions, but I do want to prioritize protein, for example. So I'm gonna look at the menu and I'm gonna see what options they have that might be like a lean steak or I'm going to trim off the fat to have my lean protein? Or do they have like a fun chicken option? I personally, whenever you go out to eat, sometimes don't have chicken because you can have that at home. But I actually like having chicken when I go out to eat because then it gives me easy meal ideas since I eat a lot of chicken to change things up. So you decide what feels good whenever you go out to eat, but just eat out mindfully, prioritizing one of your portions. And especially if you go out to a Mexican food restaurant, I love that they give you a lot of food. Um, but you might want to take some to go. So, eating mindfully might look like pausing halfway, going to the washroom, washing your hands, smelling the soap, taking a break from the food. And then you might realize, oh, I'm actually full. Whenever you stand up, you kind of get in tune with how full you are. Just like when you're drinking and you stand up, you're in tune with how much you've drank. So doing that with food can really be helpful. So go eat out mindfully one day between now, at least one day. Um, Even if it's for like a little like ice cream treat. It doesn't have to be like a big meal. But just go out once at least and do it mindfully, whatever it is that you do. And this is just an idea of how defining your on and off days might look like. So you might notice that during the week, you are pretty routine because you have work or you have the things. So maybe Monday through Thursday are your on days. So then just circle that. And then on your off days, so it might be the weekend, circle the portions that you will prioritize. And your off day is not permission to eat everything in sight. You hopefully with the permission to use a cheat sheet and enjoy pizza on your on day and not having to wait till your off day, you will release the need to go crazy on your off days because you're not so restrictive on your on days, if that makes sense. So the more similar your on and off days look, the better. So enjoy things on your on days and then practice pausing on your off days so that they are not worlds apart, but we want to bring those worlds together. We want to bring the world of routine and structure and feeling good. We want to bring that to overlap with our pleasure world and feeling good and taking mental breaks because those will hopefully collide into your life, into a regular day in the life is I'm enjoying feeling good and having a routine and taking care of myself as well as pleasure. We're trying to bring those together. We're marrying those to go with the theme for today. So try to bring those worlds together. Um, okay, so that's it. So those were the actions. So define your on and off days, use a portion cheat sheet, and go out and eat mindfully. This will all be written out as well on the call recording, like I do always. At the very bottom, there'll be a little lightning bolt, and I'll have the action steps there. But if you need to, write that down. Because that'll be the thing that we do over the next 2 weeks, and I'll check in with you guys. So hopefully, I haven't been poking out too much. I might even dial that up now that you have your plans. And I know that the first couple weeks might be a little overwhelming figuring things out, but I plan on poking out a little bit more. So hopefully you don't mind. And if you do, then tell me, hey, Michelle, you're poking me a little too much. Let's tone that down, and I will. But otherwise, I'm gonna poke you a few times. So the call should be up by Monday. We'll see how crazy we get this weekend. Um, but yes, so do the things. Circle your plan like this, which you need to have your plan printed out to do that. So print it out if you haven't yet. And then do the circle-y thing to define what days you're doing. And that is your action for the next 2 weeks, and I'll check in on you. So with all that, says a lot. Do you have any questions? About, so I know it's mindset. So mindset, it'll be fun for you to kind of, what was it called? Meta thinking, like thinking about your thinking and like watching your brain pull its tricks. It's got a lot of reasons not to do things. We're like, oh, today, this is gonna be my reason, and tomorrow we'll start. Today, right now, is the best time to take the action that you want to take because today is the tomorrow of yesterday. So uh, I like that. I need to write that down. Um, so today is the tomorrow of yesterday. So um, take the action today. So mindset, it'll be really interesting to see which one you are, whether you are a self-beater upper or you are a rationalizer. But just notice those take a lot of energy. So let's instead put that energy toward the learning curve of taking care of ourselves, knowing that that will become second nature. So the rationalizing or the beating yourself up or rewiring to taking care of yourself, encouraging yourself, thinking positively. And anytime you feel like that didn't work quite well, or like I overate, or that food really drove me to eat a whole lot more than I was planning on, learn its growth. Because the mistakes of today will be the planning strategically and success for tomorrow. So try whatever you do, try to make it a learning experience, knowing that one day won't make or break you. It's really the accumulation of what you do over the week that really matters. Okay.
Hey, Michelle.
Yes.
Hey, it's Dion. I just wanted to say this has been really encouraging, and I've put a couple of your tricks into play this week. So yesterday, my daughter had a class picnic, and they had hamburgers, hot dogs, cookies, chips, and before I went, I had a protein shake, and I was so proud of myself because I wasn't even tempted to eat anything while I was there, and nobody noticed or said anything either. So to your point, people don't pay attention to what you're eating or not eating.
Right,
So
right.
that worked out great.
That's awesome. Yes, so I love that. So yeah,
And
before
yeah,
going out, the protein can really help as well. And having something that you enjoy
yeah,
to
it's like a
satisfy.
dessert for me. If I put ice in it, it's slushy, kind of like ice cream. So I've been noticing that I'm getting more and more away from like sugars and like, packaged sweets or, cookies, brownies, that kind of thing. And I'm feeling like the yogurt and the berries and the shakes are really satisfying that sweet tooth that I have.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it seems like the more and more I'm utilizing your guidelines, it's easier and easier to eat healthier or make healthier choices. So
Yay! Because you're bringing both worlds together. You're bringing the taking care of yourself and pleasure together.
yeah,
That's
I had a
awesome.
big salad. So my kids are even like using yogurt instead of sour cream and things like that. So that's been
Right.
encouraging to see that they're enjoying those healthier choices, food flips as well. So
Right.
anyway, I just wanted to encourage you that this has just been really great for me and my progress. So thank
That's
you.
of course. That makes you so excited. That's awesome.
I have a question about
Yeah.
categorization of foods. At
Mm-hmm.
what point, at what point, this is not kind of going back to last week or last meeting a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, but at
Mm-hmm.
what point would you consider a food proportionally a fat versus
Mm-hmm.
proportionally a protein? Because we
Mm-hmm.
have a chicken sausage that we like that's
Mm-hmm.
like 60% protein and
Mm-hmm.
40% fat, which is, I
But
think, a little bit leaner than your
yes,
typical
it
pork
is.
sausage.
It
So
is.
I don't know if
Abs
it's protein or
mm,
what.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, um, mm, it depends. So, no, but okay, so know what your mental capacity is. I would encourage you to say it's half protein, half fat.
Mm,
If that feels like splitting hairs and that's too much to handle, and if that precision would just drive, oh, we'll just forget about the plan. I'm not even going to stick to it because it's too much. Then consider it a protein. Um,
okay.
but I would encourage you to consider it half protein, half fat. And I would need if you could take a picture of the back of it and share it under Ask Michelle, then I'll tell you um, how much sausage would be half a protein, half a fat, or one protein, one fat. So
Perfect.
if you could send that over, then I'll give you the portion for that item. So great question, and this will come up with other items, especially protein bars can be another one of those things where we kind of split up to be a carb and a protein. Just for starters, to make your plan again realistic. Sometimes just chalking it up as a protein, obviously it has carbs and fats as well. But just chalking it up and ridding our hands of tedious meticulousness. Calling it a protein is great, but now might be a great time to dial in and call protein bars proteins and carbs. And to your point, turkey sausage, dividing those up and calling it protein and fat. Now might be a time, since you've been like grappling with your plan, and you might have some experience under your belt. That next step would be to look at things a little bit more precisely. So send me the nutrition fact, the back of it, and then I will tell you specifically.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Great questions, y'all. Yeah, and then another question that has come up has been pre-post workout fuel. So to that, sometimes you don't need a specific pre-workout snack if you had lunch an hour ago, for example. So it really depends on what time you work out. Some of y'all are morning worker outers, and so just know that hydration is front and center, really important for morning workouts because you've gone hopefully 8 hours without a whole lot of water. So you're dehydrated when you first wake up in the morning. So getting hydrated is really important. And that's not to say to chug 500 milliliters of water, the water bottle. At once and then go and work out and have that slosh around in your stomach. Hopefully you have some time to sip on things for at least 30 minutes before your workout. So sip on things and maybe having some electrolytes, especially if you're a sweater. So I personally really like the Propel little packets. They're easy to just keep in the car, so you have it always and you don't have to prepare anything before you get there. But sipping on some electrolytes, but definitely water, if nothing else. And half of a carb portion at least beforehand can help fuel your workout. But really, the fuel that you had yesterday will help with your morning workout as well. So, if you're not a morning eater and you still want to work out in the morning, at least prioritize hydration. But maybe try having at least half of a carb portion. But if you burn through food and you have 8 carb portions for the day and you're like, well, I need to eat a little bit more beforehand because I'm just going to burn through half of a carb portion, feel free to bump that up. This is just minimum. And then afterward, it is important to have carbs after your workout to refill some sugar stores in your muscle. Because right now, right after your workout is the time your muscles are saying, give me food, more than they ever will throughout the rest of the day. So that would be the time to, after your workout, have some carbs as well, while sticking to your daily portions. So try that out pre-post workout and see how that goes. And if you want to fine tune things, then feel free to message me. But that was a question that has popped up that now I don't have to say it depends, but there it is. So great questions this week. Keep them coming. Always keep me posted on how things are going. If you have any wins, so the progress channel isn't necessarily for I dropped 5 pounds, although that is a great place to put that. But wins can be things like Dion shared about the win of trying something new, so like trying her satisfying shake and then not feeling compelled to have all of the like hot dogs and cookies, although she knows if she wanted to she could, but she just didn't have that need or like that feel, that compulsion to like I need to have all the cookies. So that's a great win. So things like that, feel free to share under progress. But I'll be sharing some of y'all progress there too, because it's super encouraging to see. So share all the things, and then I'll see y'all in a couple weeks after y'all go out to eat and have fun.
Thanks,
Alrighty.
Michelle.
Of
I,
course.
I
Thank
have
you.
I have one more question. I just
Yeah,
thought of it.
go ahead.
So like with the zero sugar
Mhm.
slash sugar alcohol slash like those things, I end up having like 0 calories.
Right.
Does that also mean it does not give you any energy? Like,
Correct.
okay.
Correct. Very great question. So, anything that doesn't have calories do not directly give you energy. So even things like vitamins or things like that, especially whenever the package says boosts energy. I think, well, I mean, not really, but because really things with calories do that, but your body does need some vitamins to produce energy. So, like, for example, one of the vitamin Bs is used in the Krebs cycle, which is basically the cycle that happens in your cells that give you ATP, which is ultimately converted, which is energy. So does vitamin B give you energy? No, but your body uses it in cycles that create energy. So all that to say, energy is only in foods with calories because a calorie is the amount of energy needed to heat 1 milliliter of water, 1 degree Celsius. So that's a calorie. It's energy. It's direct energy. Anything without a calorie does not have energy. But your body uses those vitamins and minerals to convert food to energy. So vitamins and minerals support energy production, but they don't directly give us energy. So if you're finding like halfway through the day and you feel a slump, it could be that you might need potentially more fats in your lunch so that your blood sugar is steady for longer instead of fast absorbing carbs where you have energy and then you don't. So incorporating fats in your food might help, but ultimately that energy at that slump will come from the food that you had at lunch and breakfast, but it can also be things like we're not created to sit for 10 hours in the day. So maybe I've been sitting a little bit too much and I need to like wash my face with cold water, go outside, breathe some fresh air, and then that sometimes can give you energy because the sun does also help with energy production in our bodies. So sometimes we're made to go outside. So that might have been a little more than you bargained for, but does that answer your question?
Yeah, that
Okay.
answers the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. And we can always dial things in if you're noticing that slump, then we can dial in, well, what does your lunch look like? And then maybe going outside for 5 minutes and seeing if that helps too.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah, I was
Michelle,
just
what if,
curious.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Thanks, Wes.
I was just going to ask about maca powder because I used to use it quite a bit when I was working out heavy and I started incorporating it in my protein shakes.
Uh-huh.
Do you know a lot about maca powder? Does that help? I've read it helps with energy.
Yeah, so it's the green powder, right?
No, it's like it looks like
Oh,
ground flaxseed.
okay.
It's MACA powder.
Oh, I don't, but my guess would be it is pl a plant that has a lot of vitamins and minerals. And so that can really boost your vitamin and minerals for the day. So if you like the taste, then cool. If it tastes like dirt and you hate it, then probably not worth, and you can get it
It's
from
kind of
fruit.
nutty.
Yeah. So you can probably get it from other fruits and veggies, but if you
Okay.
like it, then it would probably be a great vitamin and mineral boost.
Okay.
Um, which can help your body have everything it needs to convert what you're eating to energy. So vitamins and minerals are great, but you might get them from other things like fruits and veggies if you don't like it. So
I have
great
a question
question.
too.
Yes.
I have a question. So sometimes I notice like if I'm like rushing and I don't have time to like cook vegetable, I will only have the carbs, the protein, and the fat,
Mm,
and the vegetables. Will be a
mm.
good idea to add like a fiber. I see that you eat flaxseed,
I
and
love
that,
flax seeds, y'all. It is so good.
I was wondering, like in that case, that I couldn't cook the vegetables or didn't want to eat a raw vegetable, and it
Uh-huh,
would be
uh-huh.
easier for me just to add like a source of fiber that is just
Right.
easy to
So
consume.
good, great question. So the good news is that carbs have fiber. So um, white rice is pretty low in fiber, but things like sweet potatoes, even avocados have a lot of fiber, which I was like, what? Avocados are
Mm.
creamy. How are they fibrous? But so fibers are going to be in your fats. Besides oil, oil doesn't have fiber, but in your nuts and seeds and your carbs. So you do have fiber already. But some things you might try to hit your veggie portion are things like a peeled cucumber with Propel on it. I think we might have talked about that.
Yeah.
But that's a great snack. And then you and I both love the cheese broccoli. So if you're hitting your veggies, then and you're not having a veggie at mealtime, then just know that that's okay. You're getting your vitamins and minerals with your snack veg, and you're getting fiber from your carbs and your fats during your meal. Because I know that we've got some avocado lovers in the house, so you're getting the fiber. But if you're noticing that if you're a volume eater and you're like, I mean, I had a plate, but I could eat double that, and you need that volume, then that would be a time to make sure you're getting those veggies in so that you feel the fullness without having to double your calories. So if you feel satisfied after your meal, and you don't feel like, man, I need another plate, then don't worry about not having the veggies at mealtime because you're getting it during your snacks.
Okay. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, great questions, y'all. Okay, well, it's good to see you guys. I'm gonna head over and get my makeup done now. So, yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be fun.
Have a
But
great day, Michelle.
Yes,
sorry.
congratulations.
Thank
We're
you.
happy
Thank
for you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
enjoy
Me
today.
too. Me too. And then yeah, let me know how all the things go, and then I'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Okay.
Sounds
All
good.
righty.
See
Sounds
ya.
good.
All
Thank
right,
you.
bye
Bye.
y'all. Take
Bye,
Bye.
care.
everyone. Have a good weekend.